Y'all all welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. A lot of stuff out there. Funny tweet, Facebook tweet somebody sent me, Brandon, because it was they threw me in there. They called me a disc jockey. And it's from it's from a real nut, but I'll get to that in just a little bit in the program. Governor Abbott was calling a special session. They blamed the general administration for all these false numbers. They're doing the same thing. It's amazing how it don't matter if you're Republican or Democrat governor, they all use bogus numbers. We'll get to that. And Mitch Landrieu on a book tour. Brandon, he did write his book, and he's an expert on racism now. So we'll get to that as the program unfolds. And the Cajun Navy, the government's now trying to coordinate, and they want the Cajun Navy to coordinate with the government, who's the slowest thing in the world. And my suggestion to the Cajun Navy, say thank you, but no thank you. I'm telling you, if the government does it, the Cajun Navy's going to see a flood, and they're going to go, well, my buddy's on top of the house, but I can't go because I hadn't heard from the government yet. I mean, anyway, we got a lot to cover, and, of course, some national news as well. But before that, we have a little fun. My friend Megan, Travel Machine, joins us. Everybody knows that we are taking a great trip on July 13th through the 20th to Alaska. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to another trip there. And this is going to be a little different than we did the first time, although we all stopping at some of the same places. Miss Megan, how you doing, sugar?
Good morning. Good.
She got that Travel Machine smile on her, Brandon. But it is going to be a great trip, and we want people to know a little bit more about it. So let's ask Megan to come on by and talk to us.
We do. We're going Seattle to Seattle, July 13th to the 20th. We're going this summer, so it's booking quick. We need you to give us a call. We're going to be going on the Celebrity Solstice. Celebrity is number one whenever it comes to service. You're going to be treated like a celebrity. They have one staff member for every 2 guests. One of the shore excursions you can do, you can shop with the local chef. So whenever they tell you it's authentic ingredients, or that they get it fresh, you'll be able to actually see that. You get 24/7 room service. Right now, you get a balcony room, which most are. They're getting drink packages included, free Wi-Fi included. 8 bars to choose from, 11 places to go. They even have a celebrity eye lounge where they have Apple certified staff that have tips and tricks to use some of your products.
How many restaurants in this one? Do you remember?
11.
Wow, 11. And by the way, there's something to do for the kids. There's something to do for the adults. And I've been on many, many cruises. And what I like about them, and this will be really a special one for us. If you've never been to Alaska and you ever wanted to go, this is the trip, and it's priced right. But what I enjoy about it, you can do as much as you want to do 24/7 or as little as you want to do. And you're going to be waited on the whole time.
Yes, you are.
Everywhere you go, you're waited on. Somebody's tapping on you. Can I help you with something? And it is a fun trip. If you've never been on one, this is an experience of a lifetime.
I said earlier, we're selling bragging rights. This is a trip that you're going to come back, you're going to tell your friends about. You're going to be able to be at the Petroleum Club and hear it, and you're going to be able to brag it that you did it better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's a great trip. All right, tell people a little bit how to get in touch with y'all. Number one. Number two, there's some airplane flights involved in this as well, but you can help people with that as well, anybody that's listening to this program.
We can. You can call us at 337-981-7870. You can also look on our website. It's travelmachine.net. And we have flights. I mean, you can get from our friends in Houston or maybe, some of our friends in Shreveport, Dallas. We have flights for $300 per person.
That's pretty cheap.
Round trip cheap. Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, people need to know that because there is a little flight involved in this. But once you get there and you get on a cruise and you got your balcony, all that stuff in the trip and enjoyment is all paid for, except for your alcohol and your drink. Everything is pretty much done. And there's shows every day, every night. They got different shows that you can catch at different times. So you're always entertained. There's no doubt.
And right now we have promotions where your alcohol is included. We're also doing trips with miles. Your credit card points. Use those points. They're probably stashed away, with nothing to do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But it's a great trip. And now tell us where we're going, because I always like to hear this, because now I have been to some of these places. I will be making a salmon trip. That was so much fun to have a little fly about that big to catch a 6 or 7 pound salmon that big. And by the way, I did that. It was a great experience.
We're doing it again.
I'm definitely going to do it again. But talk about where we're going.
We're going to be going from Seattle to Chachere, Alaska, Tracy's Arm, Juneau, Skagway. We're also going to be cruising through the Inside Passage, and we're going to be going to Victoria, British Columbia before returning back to Seattle.
By the way, talk a little bit about the inland deal, because we've been out and it's been rough. This is really close inland. It's almost like, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, it's almost like having a traveling hotel room, but a lot better.
It's a floating hotel.
That's
and
what it is.
If you've ever been on a cruise, if you've been on a cruise on New Orleans or Galveston, we all have that feeling, where you're going and it's nice and smooth and all of a sudden you start to move and it's, we're in international waters or on the way back, and you'll feel it all of a sudden settle out. Guess what? We're going to be doing that the entire time. Yep. We have a port every day. We're sailing the Inside Passage, so it's going to be smooth.
And by the way, a lot of us will get off at every port because we want to see it. Some people will say, I've been the last 3 days and I had fun, but today I just want to rest on the ship. All the service, all the restaurants, all the fun, all the games are still sitting there on the boat for you to enjoy. Spa,
fitness. We know that some people, you're a workaholic. I'm going to be working while I'm there. I'm sure you can't leave your email for 7 days.
I'm going to do a little bit, but I try not to do none.
But we'll also have unlimited Wi-Fi included. So we have something for everyone.
So you can still be in contact with your people back home. Actually, I would get up in the mornings while everybody's sleeping. I'd walk about 3 miles on the boat. When I was in that particular trip we went last time, Alaska, I would always be walking while we were pulling into the ports, and you could see all the beautiful scenery. And one time I woke up, they were backing up to a glacier where everybody was able to take the pictures, and I was sitting right there, and it was really neat because I was one of the first ones to see it because it was early in the morning, like daybreak. This is the trip of a lifetime. We want y'all to come with us. We will spend time with everybody that comes, eat, have a fun time, probably be on excursions with people, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Megan, one more time, give out how to get in touch with you so we can get this set up for people.
Call Travel Machine at 337-981-7870 or check out our website, www.travelmachine.net.
And if you got a problem with that and you forget, just go to Moon Griffon Facebook, KPEL's website. And folks, we got people all over the state coming. You're going to get to meet some of my family members. Don't let that slip. You get to meet some more Griffons on the trip because I know of a couple of them that are coming. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.
God bless, baby. Thank you. All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson, you forget something?
No.
Okay, no, I was going to make. I thought maybe we forgot to say something.
No, I didn't know if I could make a noise.
No, you can go. You can go. Make noise in here. They come in here and beat on me all the time. You be one of the sweet ones. You at least scared. Anyway, all right. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, Brandon, by the way, I'll send this to you. I got a crab pie recipe. It's called the Maryland Store. Somebody sent this. A guy named Henry, I'll leave it at that, sent this to me. That looks awesome. Oh. And I got to forward that to you because I know your bride loves to cook and use recipe. I'm not a big recipe guy.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not there. Well, I don't need a recipe. I'm not that type guy. But I don't cook. I don't go grab things that I don't know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Some people like to grab recipes and try stuff. That would be my wife.
You're killing me right now. Show me that picture over and over again. I got about an hour before I'm going to eat. So, oh, man.
Well, I'm sending it to you because I know your bride will probably be the one jump on this. So that'll be a good thing for him.
Oh, so. She's an amazing cook.
Well, that's good though. That means you're an amazing eater.
Oh yeah, I am. Oh yeah, I am.
I always notice if you got good cooks, you also probably have a few good eaters. You and me are good eaters, Brandon.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
All righty. Governor Edwards targets February 19th for the special session, which will be a week from Monday, about 10 days away. What's today, the 8th?
Yes.
That would be 11 days away in Balkanville.
No, today's the 7th.
7th?
Yeah.
See, I can't even get my days straight.
And you clowning the people of Balkanville.
I know. I'm funnier than Balkanville. Governor Edwards, 19th, governor tentatively plans to issue the official call Friday. Louisiana faces nearly $1 billion shortfall. We really don't face $1 billion shortfall. I'll be honest with you, we really don't. We got money coming in from oil and gas. We got money coming in from the tax cuts from Trump. The estimating conference has not said how much money's coming in. They declared we had a surplus, but the bottom line is we've increased taxes over $2 billion. But anyway, he's calling this, so here's the deal. Republicans get ready to get beat up in the House. They were doing it again today. Lanny Leftist Keller, and he is a leftist, continues to write about things. I'm telling y'all, he could care less if it's right or not. Self-inflicted budget wound festers as lawmakers ignore the cure. Hey, Lanny, Bell Edwards was part of that big budget problem that we had under Bobby Jindal. in the last 2 years. He was just as big a part of it. He voted for bad budgets. And then he goes into this stomping thing of blaming the Stelly tax cut, which, by the way, he does mention that Edwards, and he mentions that he was a rookie legislator and voted for it. You know, he says even as hard-right anti-Edwards members of the State House try and continue to stymie Edwards, whose tax and budget legislation is bottled up in 2 key committees controlled by ultra-conservatives, the wounds fester. And that's what they do. It's all about the name calling. It's all about saying how bad these people are. Look, I happen to know some of these people they calling bad. Y'all have heard Lance Harris on here. Brett Guyman was called a bad guy. I've had Cameron Henry. We've had Alan Seball. We've had, who else, Brian? Blake Miguez. You know, those are not the bad guys. They're the good guys. Those are not the bad guys. Those are the guys trying to make a difference and do something right. How come they the bad guys? Because they don't want to increase taxes on people. They're not the bad guys. They're the good guys. And if we were listening to them, we wouldn't be in this position. Where was Lanny Keller, the writer for The Advocate, when Bobby Jindal was running his office for 8 years? Lanny Keller never went after him. He never challenged him to the last year. None of them did. I was the only one. I don't say that in a braggadocious way. I was the only one because I know people came up to me and was mad at me, and then all of a sudden they're apologizing to me because I was right about Jindal. Lanny Keller wasn't talking about budget problems. And then he goes into the Stelly bill again, which, by the way, is a joke to say if the Stelly bill was still there, we wouldn't have a problem. You remember, I'm telling y'all, the $2 billion that they said we had a problem with when they came in, I'm telling y'all that was an outright lie. And Lanny Keller knew it. He just writes it because that's what's said. That's what's being told. Jay Darden could sit down with Lanny Keller, tell him anything, he would write it as facts. It don't matter if Jay Darden told him. Whatever Jay Darden told him, he would agree with it. He would not care. Stelly bill had nothing. When you got a spending problem, adding revenue will never fix a spending problem. Ever. Never, ever, ever. And it's not going to fix the spending problem. Until they fix the spending problem, revenues will get better if you fix the spending problem. Try it at home, folks. Try it at home. You've overspent. You got over there. Get out of a bunch of it. Have the same revenue. Get rid of some stuff that you don't need to be spending money on. We ought to not be giving money for NGOs, non-government organizations. We ought not be giving money to legislators to put sidewalks and street signs and signs in the yard. We ought to not be giving money to legislate for bike paths. We ought to not do that. But they do it in the billions of dollars. We ought to not have golf courses that we're paying for. We ought to not have lakes and reservoirs that we're paying for. There's a lot of things they can do if they really want to. It wouldn't affect the revenue at all. They would have more revenue. Anyway, take a break. Be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed this program immensely so far. We talked about cruising. Chef Jude's in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And
morning, fellas.
We got a couple new products from Tony Chachere. First of all, good morning.
Good morning.
Brandon's going to talk bad about you.
Oh,
just going to tell you.
I knew you were going to do that.
He's going to talk bad about you. You didn't bring nothing to eat.
I didn't bring any food.
Look, I told Brandon we laughed yesterday. One of our fans, let me back up, one of Brandon's fans who puts up with me from Lake Charles came in, Marcel. He walks in here with a king cake.
Bananas Foster king cake.
I love it.
Delicious.
You remember when you did Bananas Foster for us?
Yeah.
We had more fun with that. I had more emails on that. People going, yeah, you have to eat Bananas Foster, you sorry piece of But he did that, and I thought about you, and I said, boy, Chef Jude would like this too. This was pretty good.
That sounds good.
Okay, Chef, a couple new products for Tony Chachere's. I got a chance to taste one of them because we were able to open it up. This is a great product right here. I'm telling you, for people who want no salt. So talk a little bit about it.
So we've been having requests for years for this particular product. It's Tony Chachere's No Salt. We just kind of announced it this week, and it'll be in your local grocery stores here in the next couple weeks. So I brought you a few cases, and you can sample them out, or do a little contest if you like,
We will do
so people can kind of try it before they can actually buy it in the grocery stores.
Actually, it's a different taste too. It's got the same Tony Chachere's label, a little purple on the top, which makes it a little different. Mm-hmm. And I taste a little sweet. Mm-hmm. I taste a little heat.
Absolutely.
But the flavor's really excellent.
Sure. So right now we have some existing products that it's a salt-free and a light Tony Chachere's, and those have a salt substitute in them. And for people that have those dietary restrictions, it's perfect for them. But this is, I guess, the next level of that. There is absolutely no salt whatsoever in this, and it is. It's excellent.
When you walked out, you had mentioned before you walked out a second ago that you've taken that. I think you put it on a brisket. And I told Brandon, I said, Brandon, I got 2 slabs of ribs I've been wanting to cook. Mm-hmm. That looks like perfect because I tasted it.
Yes.
You could put that on those ribs and just dust it down with it. Cook the ribs, and if you want barbecue sauce or something like that, but that flavor is going to come through even if you sauce it. So I'll take a slab and put barbecue sauce, and take another slab and don't put anything on it.
Sure.
And eat them like that and see what you like best.
Yeah, it's we did smoked some briskets with it. And it's like a, I'll have to come back by next week after Mardi Gras and bring something.
You sure you're not more disappointed than I am, dude?
Well, so I can't show that, Brandon. I gotta be cool. I gotta be cool.
So we did rub down some briskets with them, and it's used it as a rub. It has a little bit of sugar in it, and we injected them with our roasted garlic and herbs. So that has a little bit of salt in it, but it's not like
but if you want
putting
no salt, you can put this on
exactly. And they were phenomenal. So I think it's going to be a really good.
I'm going to try it on ribs this weekend. I'll let you know. Okay, now something you got over here, I'm really excited about. You got a Supreme.
This is we're calling it Supreme Crab Boil. So we've had a crab boil out for years, but it was only available food service wise for restaurants in large quantities.
But it is a powder.
It is a powder.
It doesn't look like a powder outside the thing.
No, it's in a 32 ounce container, and basically we have a recipe on the back. Everybody has their own recipe on how they boil crawfish, how long they boil them for, how much seasoning they put in, if they add more stuff to it, if they let them soak for a certain amount of time. But ours, we're saying one of these containers is going to season approximately 25 to 35 pounds of crawfish. So basically a sack of crawfish is one container.
That really looks good, and I'm going to try it. We came down here. We hadn't boiled crawfish yet. Mm-hmm. But I promised my wife we used to do 6-7 times in Monroe, and we're going to go back to that tradition, and I'm going to invite Brandon this time.
You keep saying that.
I like to invite people that say, well, we'll come, but we don't really eat crawfish.
Come on,
got ham sandwiches for you. When will these 2 products be in the store?
Within the next few weeks, you'll start to see them in grocery stores.
Well, perfect timing on the crab ball. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's
what's your website?
Well. It's www.tonychacherie.com.
Folks, you can't miss them. Best products in the land and everything right here out of the great state of Louisiana. Chef, always a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, no food today. Next time.
Brandon be crying. By the way, he didn't cry when they brought the bananas for the king cake. I can promise you. I ate a piece, or 2, or 3. We'll be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. All right. I wanted to keep Chef Jude a few more minutes. Actually, I shortchanged him on some time, but there was something else you wanted people to know that they can do with these new products.
Yeah, we're actually we want everybody to try their first can on us if they're interested in it. Through the end of February, if you go online on our website, and we mentioned that earlier, tonychacherie.com, and you use a promo code NOSALTTONYS, that's NOSALTTONYS, when you go to checkout, we'll send you a free can of the No Salt on your next order. So if you're planning on ordering some Tony's or any of our other products, we'll send you one of these on us.
Right, so let me get this straight. Go to Tony Chachere's website.
Correct.
You got to put in the code No Salt Tony.
No Salt Tonys.
Y'all going to send them a can of what we have right here?
A free can of the No Salt. Yeah, just to try it out.
Dude, you can't beat that. I mean, you can't beat that. That's about as nice as deal as you can get. And everybody likes free.
Sure. And if
some people more than others, but
Brandon,
Chef Jude's got
you up over there, man.
Chef Jude's got you, Como.
Yeah. So if you or anyone in your family that has maybe some dietary restrictions or just are trying to watch their salt intake, this would be great for them.
Well, and it doesn't cost you a penny, folks. Once again, Tony Chachere's website. And then there'll be a code, No Salt Tony. You put that in there, and they will send you your first can of the no salt, the new one. This is not even
Correct.
hit the shelves yet, folks, but it's getting ready to.
That's correct.
And you get a free can. I mean, Brandon, you can't beat it. Brandon, give me them 2 cans back. You just go on the website and get yours. Brandon can have them all. He knows that. So, all right, Chef, anything else? And by the way, I always ask you this. You got these new products, but apparently you always tell me you're working on new product. Heck, 2 new ones right
That's
here.
right. 2 new ones now, and we actually have some other stuff in there. Usually it's, maybe 1 a year that we try and come out with. But this year I think is going to be a big year for us. We have...
1 year is pretty good because all your products are great, so you're adding 2 great products.
So we have a new product that's going to come out probably in about springtime, right before summer, maybe 3 months or so. We'll have another new product coming out, and I think we're pretty excited about that as well.
I wasn't going to show you this. Brandon just emailed me and said, since Chef Jude didn't cook nothing, do you think he would go by Taco Bell and pick it up? Just put that to me on the email. He didn't want you to know you said it, but I'm telling you.
Not to dog Taco Bell, because I like it, but I'm not going to compare Taco Bell to the food that this man cooks right here.
I know, but you just want some food now. Now you settle. After Chef didn't bring anything, now you're going to settle for anything. That's the only way I look at it. Chef Jude, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Hope your family's doing well. Tell the fine folks at Tony's. I said how a lot of good work there.
We have a group of guys that listen to you, every morning.
They put up with us.
Oh, and accounting has it going on the radio, man.
Well, tell them hi because we need to come by and eat lunch with them one day. We did come by and see everybody one time. I don't know if we went by the accounting department. We kind of did in the warehouse thing.
Sure, y'all. Yeah, definitely, y'all come by.
About the last thing, do y'all do tours there for people at school? Can y'all do that? Or that's not doable.
It's really not doable right now. You're supposed to have everything is kind of open in the warehouse, and it's supposed to be closed
it's wide
off
open.
And so we don't do tours.
Make it kind of tough, yeah.
Yeah, but we're working towards that. It's hopefully in the near future.
Y'all are worldwide, so I just thought it was a neat thing. God bless. I'll let you go, man. You
Thank
can
you,
ease
sir.
out the door and go to Taco Bell for Brandon. All right, 844-76. You know what Brandon says? You always got an answer for everybody. What Brandon said. I don't want nothing from anywhere else to compare to his cooking. You notice how I had an answer. Yeah, but you take anything now that you ain't got anything. Chef, thank you, man. We got to get the chef to do the crab pie and bring that back one day. That was a recipe somebody
look
sent.
who's making food requests over there.
Send me that recipe and I'll
I have to do that. Really looks good, chef. The only thing they don't say in here is Tony Chachere's, but I believe we can add that in the mix and we'll be
able to make that adjustment.
Oh, I know you could. By the way, real crab meat. Don't bring me no cans. All right, 844-766-6607.
What you got against the imitation crab, Moon?
Nothing. I use it all the time.
I was going to say.
Remember, Chef Jude was going to do it. We wanted real crab from him. And if you asked me and I'd ask you, we'd use the imitation. I use the canned stuff all the time.
Oh, I love it. I can just eat the imitation crab just as it is.
I'm not. Listen, you just like you said a while ago, he ain't bringing anything, nothing can compare to him, but you would take something from Taco Bell at this time.
Well, yeah, because I'm hungry right now.
See what I mean? All right, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Going back to Lanny Keller. And look, this is what's going to happen. The special session is going to come, and it's slammed. How hard can we slam the House Republicans for not increasing taxes? Lanny Keller going back to the old tried, horrendous Stelly bill where people had less money. They called everybody rich. They weren't rich. He keeps scanning. He says self-inflicted wound. I know it is. And it's been self-inflicted by the governor, too. Number 2 is they keep saying that these experts, restoring the increased tax provisions of Stella has been backed by expert panels. And the expert panels all work for government. Matter of fact, if it's such a good plan, Lanny, how come the governor turned it down last year when it came out and went with the CAT plan, which was to tax anything that moved and everything that didn't move? I mean, once again, these people, what's happened here is people like Lanny Keller, it's like he moved from Washington. Okay, look, I defended Barack Hussein Obama for 8 years. Now let me go defend Governor Edwards. Let me go defend him. And they're all panicking over these taxes. Every one of them are panicking, thinking we're going to just go off the cliff. And we're not going off the cliff. We're not going off the cliff. And we're not going off the cliff because most of this stuff is made up. It's not real. You know, why don't he do a story on how to, this is what I want, I got a project for Lanny Keller and Jim Beam and all these so-called gurus of truth. Why don't y'all write a story on how Bell Edwards, the governor, and Jay Darden cut $672 million out of the budget and how they did it professionally and how they did it when nobody was hurt, nobody got fired, and how they were able to, how they were geniuses when they cut their $672 million. Lanny, you couldn't do it, and Bell and Jim Beam wouldn't have a clue. Okay, y'all may as well get Greg Hilburn to help y'all. Then you'd be led by the, my Lord. Why don't you do it on it, Lanny? Tell people how he cut $672 million and nobody flinched. But he can't do it, folks. And this is what this is all about. This is going to be a smash the House Republicans in the face, smash them in the back, kick them in the butt. And that's all this is. And it's a shame. It shouldn't be like that. Okay? It just shouldn't be like that. Dan Fagan, who writes with The Advocate, says Edwards can't explain budget cuts, probably can't understand it for us either. And then he has a great article, and it goes back to that thing we played 1,000 times. Played 1,000 times with Jay Darden and Lance Harris, and Jay Darden admitting there were no budget cuts. Now, Brandon, unfortunately, I'm about to play that one more time. He basically said no budget cuts. There were no budget cuts. So Fagan did a good job. You want to see it in the Morning Advocate of bringing it up. Edwards can't explain budget cuts, probably can't understand it either for us because nobody can understand the budget cuts they're talking about. Nobody. Nobody can. All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. A lot going on, folks. A lot going on. But just remember, when you start seeing all the bad articles written about the House Republicans, they've never got their way on the budget. It's always been the Senate that's got their way on the budget, not the House. So I wish Lanny Keller and Jim Beam and Greg Hilburn and Tyler Bridges would quit making up stuff as they go. We're going to take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with you. Look, Hickson has a hotline, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Now, real quick, I brought Chef Jude back. Chef Jude has been getting a ton of calls about the free can of new no-salt Tony Chachere, but there was a little caveat to this. I don't think some people maybe not heard or pay attention to it, so I told Chef, come back in here. Okay, what's going on?
Sure, I'm going to just stay the rest of the day with you guys. No, so what?
I told you bring Brandon something to eat. He'd kick me off.
We're getting a few phone calls already, and I just wanted to clarify that it's if you go on our website to make a purchase, you have to make a purchase of another Tony's product, and we will send you a free can of the no salt seasoning. And there's a promo code when you're cashing out, and it's no salt Tony's. NOSALTTONYS.
You order a product.
Correct.
And then when you're cashing out, you put no salt Tony's in the blank. Not only are you going to get the product that you paid for.
Correct.
You're going to also get this as a freebie. They're going to send it to you.
That's correct.
That's simple.
That's simple.
Okay. But it's still a free can of...
Absolutely.
It's still a free can of...
They just wanted to make sure it's, the purchase of another
What if they wanted
Tony's
to buy
product.
one of these and get another one for free? Could they do that?
Sure.
Too? Okay.
Sure, it's available to purchase
so you
online.
can buy one and get one, and then you'll be set up for a while.
Absolutely, but you have to make a purchase of another Tony's product to receive a free can.
Sounds pretty simple to me.
Absolutely.
I could get my wife to do it just like that. When I order, hey, this is yours. That's your copy.
All right,
That's your homework.
Next time, crab pie.
What you do, you don't have to do next time, just tomorrow. You make this in the morning and drop it by on the way home. And we don't talk bad about your phone.
That's right.
All right, Chef. Chef Jude, Tony Chachere.
All right, guys,
we do appreciate those guys. Those guys, we've been together for a long time, and I'm really humbled to have a company like that advertising with the Moon Griffon Show. And Chef Jude has been really, really great. I wish y'all can meet him. He's really a super guy. He enjoyed making that bananas Foster after the Senate race. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That was delicious.
Who the hell came up with bananas Foster after the Senate race the day after? Who in the world would come up with something like that, Brandon? Anybody you know of?
I know somebody crazy enough. Yeah. Yes, I do know somebody crazy enough.
Oh, man, I don't need this abuse. Anyway, By the way, I got there was a text, some tweeting of Facebooking going on out there. And apparently, I got drug into it. Blake Miguez, and I got this. He had sent out a tweet or got on Facebook, said the first step in solving the state's fiscal problem would be for the governor to admit the real problem Louisiana has a spending problem. Majority of Louisiana taxpayers agree and have sent a clear message to state government. Get the spending under control, stop raising my taxes. Well, the liberal, the female Jay Darden, Julie Stokes, I said it before and I'll say it again, until both sides of this argument can actually agree on the problem, we can't expect to find a viable solution. Well, Julie, do you believe it's spending? Now, Julie needs to get on the program. Is it spending? So then, a guy that I live rent-free in his head, rent-free. I'm talking about that all the time, and I'm sitting there rent-free. Brian Angel sends out, still no plan, Mr. Henskins, which is Bob Henskins, who is a very conservative representative, who, by the way, they have a plan, but Brian probably can't read it to understand it. As a member of the No Solution Group, you wear your badge well. He says you sold your soul to a radio disc jockey, too. Wonder who he's talking about, Brandon. You know, we got to go ask Bruce and Jude next door, or
because they are some actual DJs.
They DJs, and we need to go ask KTDY, our good friend down there, Digital and Chris. We need to go ask them if they're talking about this, because, I mean, somebody with the distinguished record of a Brian Angel is asking the question. So I just think that ought to do it. But anyway, that's out there. And I sold our soul to a radio DJ. Matter of fact, I call myself a DJ. That's just what I am. I'm just not playing records, Brandon. We're playing with elected officials. Anyway, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. All right. Listen, I'm really concerned. Cajun Navy. By the way, you know, Trump had the original guy with the Cajun Navy at the State of the Union. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay. Elizabeth Chris wrote a report today. Louisiana looks to better coordinate disaster volunteer efforts, including Cajun Navy. Now, we just think about this. They are volunteers. They react because of something that's tragically happened, like a flood, raining, or whether it be a levee broke, or it could be whatever. Cajun Navy got its name because they were really quick responding to help people that need help. Those people are great. Okay? They've organized within themselves. They've got everything ready to go, so if something happens, they're on a dime. They can send an email, a text, whatever, and they go. Okay? They beat the government to the point every time. They're rescuing people when the government's trying to figure out what's going to happen next and what to do next. They're rescuing people before any... Look, the first responders are awesome people. Don't get me wrong. But they work for government, and they have to respond accordingly. These people in the Cajun Navy don't have to listen to any of that. All they have to do is go respond. Now, first responders are special people. They do something the rest of us wouldn't want to do. So no cut on them. But what's sad is...
But they actually make the job easier on first responders, though.
Absolutely.
A whole lot.
First responders are part of the Cajun Navy. I mean, They just like them. They're going to respond. But, Brandon, why would the Cajun Navy or anybody want government to come in and coordinate with you? Well, Griffon, see, there you go. There you go. You don't want government to do anything. That's because you can't do much. You usually screw it up. Once the bureaucracy gets hold of something, it's never the same. So what's going to happen with the Cajun Navy or people like them? Because, Brandon, there's other people that volunteer to do things that are not part of the Cajun Navy. So I'm talking about you, too. What's going to happen is they're going to finally catch the Cajun Navy and other people who don't need any help. They got their own boat, their own gas, their own food. They don't have to be any specially trained. These are people just responding to something that's taking place in people's neighborhoods. They're your next door neighbor, for God's sakes. Brandon, I'm your next door neighbor, and something goes wrong at your house, I'm going to be the first one to try to help you if I can, because I'm your next door neighbor. Mm-hmm. Cajun Navy and people like them are your next door neighbor. There's first responders that work for government that are your next door neighbors. They would respond too without saying, they're not going to call, hey, Mr. Police Chief, house is on fire next door, and they got some people trapped in it. Should we wait for the fire trucks? So you think I ought to ease over there and help them? That's not going to happen. First responders going to go respond. I know what they're going to do. That's all the Cajun Navy's doing. They don't have to be coordinated with Homeland Security. And that's what they want. They want people convinced that the Cajun Navy can't do this right now without government and Homeland Security telling them how to do it. Although they've been doing it now for what? 13 years? They've been doing it ever since Katrina and Rita hit. They've been doing it before that, folks. They've been doing this for probably 100 years. Somebody stuck a name on it. I heard Bernie talk about them. I'm not sure Bernie and them didn't give them the name. Didn't they do something with talking to people and said something about Cajun Navy? I'd have to get Bernie on in here. I just think that it's a bad mistake. I just think it's a horrendous mistake for any of these organizations like the Cajun Navy to go into government and Homeland Security because they're going to tell you what you can and can't do. They're going to tell you. The design is not for you to do a free will and do what you want to do. The design would be do it our way. Well, the government's way may not be the best way. The government's way might not be the fastest way. May not be the safest way. May not be the quickest way. These people are going out there and helping people on their own like you would do your next door neighbor. If I was Brandon's next door neighbor and I saw a fire break out of his house, I'm running over there to check on Brandon, and if I can help him get out, I'm going to assist him any way I can. And that's all the Cajun Navy is. A bunch of volunteers that say, get out of the way. I'm going to help somebody get away from the situation they're in. And yet I see this, Louisiana look to better coordinate disaster and volunteer effort. Look, if the Cajun Navy shows up and the government happens to be there, which they won't, they can say, hey, guys, we got 2 roads down here. Go this way, go that way. There's a lot of people waiting over there. And then get out of the way. They can't show up and say, well, hold up just a second. You can't go yet. Policy says your boat must be this big. Policy says you must have this many life jackets. Policy says you must have this many bottles of water. If they get into that, we're going to save less people's lives, not more. Just the thought of this makes me puke. I would not even talk to him. Yeah, sound about like you, Griffon, because government will get in the way every single time. We'll be back more on that. And, of course, your phone calls. Take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hicks it at the hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice. All righty, let's jump gears. My good friend David Wilson, First South Farm Credit, joins us. David, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, Moon. Thank you for having me on this morning.
Man, it's always great to have you guys. Y'all do such a great job, and I'm always proud to be associated with you guys. All right, David, first of the year, everything's going on. Taxes are going on. People are looking for new ways to spend money. They may have a dream of owning some land. And I tell people they ought to start with you guys because you're the experts in this field, and you can really help them out with their investment because land is an investment.
Absolutely, Moon, and we appreciate you guiding them in that direction because we are that expert in there, and we've been operating now since 1916. That's a long time ago. And got a seasoned staff that has been through the races before and can adapt to whatever situations are going on in the world around them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But look at people do that. They look at the year, and we call this the tax time of year. And people start looking for the investments or the CPA saying, look, we got to do something else. And people have dreams of owning land. And y'all do a lot of great job with people that want to get out in the rural areas. And I'm talking about land to hunt. People are looking for timber and looking for investment that way. People are looking for maybe take some land and you hunt and fish. So talk a little bit about the type of people that would be looking for y'all and what y'all can provide for them.
Well, just as you said, a lot of folks are getting advice from the CPAs right now and taking a look at things and saying, hey, let's address some things just a little bit differently. And land gives you that rare opportunity to make some business decisions that also really tie in directly to their wants and desires in there, because a lot of times, especially South Louisiana and really throughout the southeastern United States, recreation in the outdoors, hunting, those are near and dear to a lot of our hearts in here. And while we look to own those things and enjoy it, a lot of times we fail to recognize the benefits of that as an investment, what it can be done. Timber properties are just an exceedingly great investment for long term, and it's something that sometimes a CPA may not have that on the forefront of his mind. He needs some prompting there. That's in our wheelhouse. Our folks are well accustomed to counseling folks in that regard and helping them meet their dreams, and at the same time make a good business investment that stands good for the future. Y'all
can actually, do y'all help people find the property, or do people mostly come to y'all with the property, or can you do both?
It actually works both ways. You know, I would say it's probably a 50-50 deal. Certainly a lot of people are always out there scouting about, but because we run in the same circles with whether it's real estate investors that are actively trading land, to foresters that are actually managing properties and are aware when they come to sale, surveyors, appraisers. I mean, those are normal day-to-day business contacts that we come into contact with, and we can certainly make connections for customers to help them get those properties.
But David, if I came to you and said, "Hey, David, I wanted to make a really big investment in buying 1,000 acres, 2,000, whatever the property was, and I had to finance it and everything," I said, "David, I want you to help me with it." Would it be to my advantage, and I'm taking it would be, to say, "Hey, can you come and look at this land, because I think I got a lot of uses here. There's animals on here. I know I could do a little hunting. There's a lake on it, or a little, a pond on it for 2 or 3 acres and whatever. Could you come evaluate the land and say, hey, Moon, not only do you have that, you see this timber, because of a certain timber you have on these thousands of acres or whatever. Could you tell me I can make money with that? Is that what y'all do too? Where you go on the land and check it out and tell people what can be used on it?
You are on the right track right there. Absolutely, that's what we do, and actually that's where we excel in, is being able to go out and meet the man on that piece of property, take a look at it, and come armed with aerial photographs, maps, and those sort of things, to where we can point out things that he may not quite be aware of. Because let's face it, everybody, we deal with trading property every day. The typical buyer, he may make 2 or 3 of these transactions in his lifetime, so it's not something that he's always comfortable with. But our folks do it every day, and that's what we take pride in, is being able to help those folks recognize what it is they're buying, what the opportunities that exist within that.
Yeah, I would think that'd be a neat thing to work with y'all. If you work for somebody, work for the professionals. You guys, you got a great staff. I've met many people. I run into people every now and then. Hey, I hear our guys on the radio show and things of that nature, and it's kind of a kick to be around them. I've also been a few conventions, things that y'all were at, and met some people. And I like your staff. They're really friendly. They're really professional. They're really ready to help people, David. And I know y'all proud of the staff y'all put together all over the state.
We certainly are, and we've got 14 locations scattered throughout Louisiana. Wherever a customer is located, we've got somebody close to him. And not only do we do properties in Louisiana, but we do them across the state line in Mississippi. We've even done some Kansas properties, and even West Texas properties for that matter. So we don't really have any real hard finite boundaries, but we've got offices close to everybody in Louisiana where we can serve them. And you're right, our folks take pride in their knowledge and expertise in there, and they love to share it and love the opportunity to help people achieve their dream.
All right, real quick, how can people get in touch with? What's the best way?
Best way is calling our toll-free number, 1-800-955-1722. That's 1-800-955-1722. That line will hook them up with the office that is nearest them. Certainly they can always go on the web and either look for First South Farm Credit or go directly to the website at firstsouthland.com.
No
First South Land.
All right, David. Thank you very much. By the way, off the record, well, it's on the record because we're talking about it. I do still get a chance to visit with Ben Sheets, and I'm gonna tell him you said hi, because I know your son had a room with him at one time when they went to college, so I know y'all were friends, and we're still good friends, and we still go back and forth a little bit since we moved away from Monroe.
You bet. Baseball is cranking up, near and dear to my heart, and I know it's near and dear to his as well.
Oh no, I promise you, Ben's year round. Yeah, Ben's 12 months a year, but I promise you, he got two kids. They both good, really good players and good kids. That's a good family. And anyway, I had to throw that in. Look, David, God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moon. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's First South Farm Credit, 800-955-1722. They are the best. All right. I just want to know your take on it. Folks, do you think the Cajun Navy should give in and negotiate with the government? Now, look, I know there's a side of this thing that probably do it already. But I don't think they ought to come up any under rules. This is just people going out helping people in an instant. Why would they want to come under some rules? You really think the government, just think if the government said, okay, no more Cajun Navy, nobody can volunteer. So in other words, if I see my neighbor on a roof, you can't help because of, quote, insurance, because something may go wrong. Somebody just wrote me consequences. They don't have no consequences. They don't have to suffer any consequences if something goes wrong. Nobody else does either. Plus, I'm going to tell you what, Brandon, you see me on a rooftop and there's a flood and you come get my family and something goes wrong, that's okay. You're the one trying to help me.
Why should they have to suffer consequences? They're trying to help somebody.
Government can never help everybody all the time. If that was the case, Brandon, when we had a bank robbery or somebody got shot, somebody would be there to protect them. You talk to anybody, first responders, which are great people, man. I'm honored to know them. They're not there. They would rather you have a gun to protect yourself. In this case, you got people. Tell you what, there's a great story you can go read about Greg Hackney, who was from the northern part of the state. I think lives in Gonzales or Prairieville. Brandon, Greg Hackney is a professional bass fisherman. If you know anything about bass fishing, he's one of the biggest names in the sport. Go read his story. You can pull it up. Here's about his father-in-law being in New Orleans or Plaquemine Parish or somewhere down there. They wouldn't let him go get his father-in-law. He knew where he was. He took his bass boat, went down, put his boat in when nobody knew he was at, and went all the way around and saved his father-in-law. His father-in-law is so grateful for him. He did what the government told him not to do. He went out there and saved his father-in-law. There are so many stories out there of the Cajun, not just the Cajun Navy, or people you've never heard of that are heroes. They're not doing something outside of government. They're responding to an emergency. Government still has to respond. We still have our first responders that do a heck of a job. I'm just worried that you're going to put Cajun Navy and people like them under some kind of homeland security. I'll say it again. If you got people that show up, and the policemen are there and all that, and they said, okay, guys, here's what we got, go help. There's nothing wrong with that. You know? There's nothing wrong with that. I get concerned when I start seeing stuff like that. Cajun Navy needed no help when they started. They needed no help when they went through the process. And I bet you they've got things that go wrong every day. But, you know, in tragedy, things go wrong whether the government's involved or not. Things go wrong whether the government's in charge or not. I hate to see this. Louisiana looks for better coordinated disaster volunteer efforts. Well, I have no problem with that. But the first response by these people, like in the Cajun Navy and other people that are like them, should never be stopped. Because the first response sometimes saves a lot of people's lives before government can get up and running. I'm not cutting government on this. I know government has a place for this. But please don't try to stop. Please don't try to stop people that just volunteering to help people. Pretty soon you won't be able to do food drives for people. You won't be able to do clothes drives. Churches won't even be able to do anything. You can't set up anything. Government has not ever been positioned, it should never be positioned to quote, help everybody when people can do stuff for themselves. Anyway, your thoughts on it, 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. Take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Talking about Louisiana. And by the way, Bill Edwards was the one came up with this, getting Homeland Security. Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. trying to get some of the groups like Cajun Navy to actually be under their watch. And I don't care what they say. Eventually, they will own them. Somebody made a good point. The Cajun Navy's covered under the Good Samaritan law. It's no doubt they've made mistakes. Today they have. But I can tell you right now, government's made mistakes on some of this stuff too. And I can promise you, if somebody sees me in a burning house or flooded home and they want to come try to save me, I'm all for it. Please come try. Come give it your best. And if something goes wrong in the process, something goes wrong. There's always going to be stuff go wrong. In a panic and in a disaster, there's always things that don't go well. Always. It's just going to happen. But it will happen if you're under government's watch, too. It just does. You got people. I just like to know that if I had a boat and we had a big flood and I could go reach some people, that I could just take off. I don't have to say, well, let me call the Homeland Security and get the approval to go 200 yards to pick up some buddies of mine out on the roof. Well, you got to have this many life jackets. You got to have this much water. Man, the heck with that in crisis. I got a boat. I keep 2 life jackets in there because normally 2 people fish. I've got other life jackets, but I'm not loading my boat with 22 life jackets. Anyway, I just don't want them go under. Now, if you show up somewhere and the police are sitting there and they go, look, hold up just a second. We got some areas we want y'all to go in, but hold on a second. You got to kind of work with that. And I think most people have. But it's not a perfect scenario, and it's never going to be a perfect scenario. Somebody just texted me, lawsuits. Yeah, them happy lawyers who's suing the hell out of all industries. I understand that. I understand something can go wrong, but it goes wrong even if government's in charge of it. And by the way, some of this stuff that people go through, and I could go through it today. My house comes on fire, catch on fire, Bernie. I wouldn't, if you live next door, when you want to go, well, let me call somebody. I see Moon hollering out the top of his roof with his house on fire, and I could easily go over there and put up a ladder to get him down, but I better not, because I don't want him to sue me if the ladder falls on him. Well, that's stupidity. You're trying to help somebody. I just don't think it ought to be totally coordinated with them. And here's another thing. Here's how they will get people suckered in to coordinate. We will give y'all some money. And somebody's going to go, ding, 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 ding. Hey, we might make a little money while we're doing this. This never was the design of Cajun Navy. Bernie, by the way, because Bernie said in a few minutes, I asked this question because I thought did y'all have something to do with the name Cajun Navy? Didn't y'all describe something? I'm asking because I don't know. But I heard somebody say that it was a deal. Y'all ever involved in the naming of that? Did you come off the program one day? Or?
The name, I don't know. The only thing I remember was getting a message from Nick Gautreaux.
Okay.
And Nick, I believe, during the week of Katrina, was on the air. This is to the best of my recollection.
I want to know. I knew there was a little something to it.
Yeah. And he got on the air and he said, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. So he talked about it early that morning, and we repeated the story multiple times. And then someone with him that was had gone down there called us and said, you're not going to believe this. They turned us away. And so... Remember all that. Right. So that was kind of how all that got started.
Okay. Good point. I knew something was involved in that. That's why I said that. All right. Jason in Shreveport. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Moon. What I'm thinking from a different standpoint, when you look at the politicians involved, including the sheriff, who's an elected politician, it's about money. But if they see us coming in as a volunteer, they can't charge the federal government or the parish or the county. So they say us volunteering, they're like, no, hold on a minute. If you don't come in here and volunteer, if we force you to get a permit to be who you are, and we stop you, then we can get millions of dollars from the federal government to replace what you're doing right now. We can get a federal agency to do that, and we'll get paid millions to do it. We'll all get a salary increase.
Yeah, but that's pretty sad. We're talking about saving lives and helping people out in time of need. Sometimes, look, ask police officers. They'll tell you they can't be everywhere. That's why most police officers.
Democrat politicians. It's all about Democrat politicians and Democrat sheriffs.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what,
That's what it is.
It's wrong to play politics with any of this. I know this, the Cajun Navy, and people like them. There's a lot of people going to help people no matter what the law says because they need help now. They can't wait for red tape. And as long as we have that, people are going to help people. Anyway, got to run. Thanks for the call. Your calls are welcome. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Should volunteers have to come under some kind of government plan or scrutiny, or you have to be licensed, or whatever they want to come up with for you to go volunteer to help people. Now, the Good Samaritan law is out there, Brandon. It's a fact. I was doing the best I can. Will they have accidents? Yeah, they've had accidents. I mean, to the point of somebody probably got killed. How many people did they save? A lot. So I'm just saying, I just hope they're being careful. I know government's trying to get there and do their best. They may say volunteers will get in the way. There's not enough government workers to go out and do the job, because if they would, then they wouldn't have to worry about people coming in. They say, oh, by the way, y'all see Mitch Landrieu? He's finally written his book, Landrieu's Confederate Monument book. See, Mitch is trying to run for something. And he can't run for anything in the state. Can't be mayor, never be governor, never be a senator, never be a congressman. Nowhere to run. So they've been throwing him out there as a presidential race. So what he does is what he typically does. He wants to fool as many black voters as he can because he's done a great job in New Orleans fooling them. He's been a horrible mayor, just absolute a disaster. And he knows, and he's talking about race and the monuments and all that, yet he voted to put, I bet he doesn't say in his book, you think he says in his book that he voted for the Confederate license plate when he was a legislator? Did everybody know that? If you didn't, now you know. Probably not in the book. Mitch is trying to be an expert for the black vote, so he knows in a Democrat primary you got to win the black vote. This makes up a big part of the Democrats. So he wants to use blacks like he's done all his life, and the Landrieux have done all their lives. Vote for us, and we're going to get you out of the hellhole you're in these inner cities, yet they never get out. It's just funny to watch these people, especially the Landrieux, just use the same people they've been using all their lives, and nobody ever catches on. Mitch Landrieu, president. Yep. I might run against him for president of the United States, folks. Wouldn't that be fun? President. My God. Doesn't have a clue. Go to the phone lines. Tara. It says Colorado. Tara, how you doing?
Hello, Moon. I'm down here for Mardi Gras, but I live in Aurora, Colorado.
Yeah.
There's a FEMA program called CERT, Community Emergency Response Team.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're issued an ID number, and it gets you into any kind of situation where the community needs to respond to an emergency.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question.
Maybe they should apply for that.
Well, why, though? Because most of these people, when something like this happens, let me give you an example, they just minding their own business. And something happens and they want to respond to it. Let me give you an example. What if everybody's set up like you say they were, and all of a sudden I got a boat, and all of a sudden I go, Brandon, I'm going to be gone the next 2 days. I'm going with those guys. And I don't have an ID number. I can't go. I ought to be able to go and help somebody. I don't think you need an ID number. I don't think you need anything. We're talking about volunteers, Tara, just strictly volunteers, and it's only going to happen when somebody is in desperate need. Why do I have to have a number for that?
I know my dad was part of the original Cajun Navy when they went for Katrina and got turned around.
Yeah.
So when I saw this program was offered by FEMA, I went ahead and took it. Now I train people.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just a class. It gives you a set of guidelines, but FEMA doesn't take control of us.
Yeah.
But I think the sheriff's department or the state government wouldn't be able to supersede it and tell you what to do when FEMA's the one that trained you.
Yeah, but that's just...
It's a federal program.
Yeah, but just think about it, though. These people are just people that are going to... They don't want to go to training. They want to go live their lives. Something pops up. They want to be able to respond I mean, how would you? I'll give you an example. I don't have to have a number. I live in a flood zone, and I know some of our neighbors. And I would hate to think that I can't go help them. We get flooded. I got the only boat in town. Although you're in South Louisiana, everybody got a boat. I jump up and go help them on at their homes, but I don't have a number. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I know what you're saying, though. Well, if they got something, maybe they can. I don't want it to be a program where people have to go do it. That's all. Somebody wants to get trained like you train people. And people ought to know who you are. And if they want to get trained, that's a good thing. Go get trained. But I just don't think they have to come under some bureaucracy, because it will grow to a bureaucracy, Tara. It's no doubt in my mind. I've watched it happen in almost every part of the government, where it's going to grow to a bureaucracy, and people are not going to know what they can and can't do. Everybody's scared to death of lawsuits right now anyway for doing anything. And I just don't think we ought to live in a country where people are scared to do things.
Okay, I'm just, I think that get as much information as you can before you put yourself in a situation.
Well, the problem is most people that get in a situation, it's not something you expect. It just happens. It would be like if I was you remember we had the mass shooting in, Nevada, Brandon, at the concert? If I had a gun on me and I saw who was shooting at people, I should have a right to wipe that cat out. That dude is killing people, for God's sakes. I shouldn't have to, okay, now I got to have this and I got to have that, or I can't help my fellow man. I get concerned, Tara, the big picture. Where you're going with this, I understand. And I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but I'm saying I worry about it becoming a mass bureaucracy now, where people are scared to just go help people because, quote, they're not licensed. I'm in a car, somebody's in a car wreck and I can help somebody. I want to respond. I want to try to help them. Now, so I get sued. But, man, if I had a chance to help somebody that came out of a car and they fell into a ditch and they're underwater, well, I can't go grab them because I might get sued, and now I can't even be a good Samaritan trying to help somebody. I want to be careful of that. I guess that's where I'm going with this.
Well, the program explains Good Samaritan laws and loopholes, I guess you could call it.
Sure.
It's not looting if you leave a note with your ID number when you go into the store and take food. Stuff like that. You can show it to the cops showing that you're not looting.
Yeah. Well, look, let me just tell you, thank you for coming to Louisiana. And we can't smoke that stuff down here like they did in Colorado. I just want to let you know that.
I know. What a shame.
I'm just telling you, don't get caught. Hey, Tara, don't get caught down here smoking that stuff. This ain't Colorado. That's all I'm going to let you know.
I didn't bring anything with me. It's all at my house to back home.
God have mercy. Tara, God bless. Thank you, sugar. Appreciate the call. Brandon's going, you told a woman that. Well, she responded properly. Yeah. She left it at home. All right. I'm not saying I thought she smoked stuff. That's not what I said, Brandon. It was all in fun. Tara, if you heard me, you'd laugh at me. All right, Warren and Lafayette. How you doing, Warren?
Hey, Moon, man, what you're saying is so right, Moon. I want to say this. When the hurricane hit, there was a lot of people that didn't have their boats ready, that stayed up all night getting their boats ready. And there was a lot of people that were ready that wasn't sure whether it was time to go or not. And when the message came out, for the boaters needed from the station, Moon, when we took off, every street, everywhere we went, it was like ants coming out of an ant pile. There were boats coming from every direction. We got on the interstate. There's boats coming on the on-ramps. Every town we get to, there's boats coming on the on-ramp. But, we went to a staging area and were threatened with arrest just for being at a staging area.
Yeah.
And we told the guys, hey, we got the media with us, and they took off. We never saw them again. But what you're saying is so right, because, it's a good Samaritan law. You got the right to help your neighbor. If your neighbor's in distress and he's drowning, it's almost your duty to help.
Let me ask you a question. Don't you think we have a right to help our neighbors without being sanctioned by the government? Or
it's our duty, Moon.
I know, or having a number? If you saw somebody shooting at your neighbor's house, you don't have a right to help defend them? I mean, come on, man. That's all I'm saying. I know what's going to happen with this. It's going to go too far in the wrong way. That's all.
Absolutely correct.
All right, man, I got to run. Thanks for the call. We'll take a break. I told Tara not to do that here. Just let you know, if you see her name and arrested, I warned her, Brandon. I warned her. Tara, we love you. We'll take a break. Be right back. Oh, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. I'll tell y'all what. I'm getting emails from people. They're so upset that the Clintons and the Barack Obama and them get away with all the stuff they get away with. Text between FBI lovers reveal Obama wanted to be briefed on everything happening in the Clinton email investigation after he guaranteed he wouldn't get involved. Lisa Page wrote to her lover, Peter Strzok, about the, what's his name again?
Are you talking about Peter Strzok?
Strzok. That's how you say it. Boy, he's got a weird spelling.
or as Rush Limbaugh says, it's Strzok, stroke.
Stroke, whatever. About the Clinton probe, Obama wants to know everything we're doing. Obama had said he guaranteed he wouldn't interfere. But folks, Obama sent the IRS after the Tea Party people. He owned the DOJ. He owned the FBI, and he used it against the citizens. Nobody believes that about old Barack Obama. If he wasn't black, everybody would believe it. And the thing about it is with the Clintons, they're so Teflon, it don't matter. We can watch Bill Clinton and Hillary shoot people in the head, and some kind of way they would get out of it. That's just amazing to me. And I know I'm watching the same thing y'all watching, and it's so frustrating to watch what Barack Obama did with the IRS, the FBI, and the DOJ. You know? And I know they're getting away with it. Because you got a news media. If the news media wanted to ever cover Barack when he first came on the scene, he'd never been elected president. Not even close. I mean, I'm like y'all. I'm frustrated, but you're dealing with the swamp. The swamp protects its own. We know how bad Barack Obama was. New FBI text shows Obama wanted updates on Clinton investigation. Flashback, president guarantees he stand out of the Hillary probe. And it's frustrating. I'm getting emails. People say it's so frustrating to watch them get away with everything. Well, you got a press corps that allows it. You can't tell the people that voted for Obama that how bad he is because they won't believe you. There's an illegal deported 44 times in 15 years, Brian. 44 times in 15 years. 44 times in 15 years. Unbelievable. All right, let's go to the phone line. Dave in Shreveport. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great, Moon. Just wanted to call and say thanks for coming to Shreveport. Great to meet you face to face. I couldn't believe you were tall and slender.
Yeah, but hold up though. You thought I was 5'8", 290, bald headed and black. I mean, I'd look a little different than all that.
Moon, I thought you were a nose guard, to be honest.
Hey, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I just get my daddy taught me how to laugh at myself. It's kind of funny when you think about it. It really is.
Well, I tell you what, you got to learn to laugh in this day and age. I've been listening in. Just a quick comment on all the things that you've been covering here. We got an old saying, and I've learned it in economics. It's called paralysis through analysis. That applies in government. Everything we do in this country is paralysis through analysis, and it's a real shame. But I just wanted to send that comment in.
You're probably 100% correct. It's such challenging. I get a kick out of this. The press never touched the worst, most Marxist president we ever had. Then another guy comes in and they bomb Bush for 8 years. And then they bomb Trump. There is no fairness in them. They don't even, forget fairness, there's no honesty in them. And so I can understand by somebody who doesn't follow this that think Barack Obama was a great president when there was nothing great about him. It was the devastation after devastation. Devastation in the race relationships, devastation in Obamacare, devastation in the economy. People quit looking for work and jobs. They ran out of total hope. He didn't deliver for not one inner city person at all. The inner cities are just as bad or worse than they ever were. It's just unbelievable to watch them. And look, to misuse the IRS, the FBI, and the DOJ on private citizens The liberals ought to be mad at this. They ought to be livid with this.
You know, that's correct. That's how I tell everybody. I said, let me tell you something what's been going on with this big mess with this FISA warrant and all this kind of stuff. Anybody that has ever been audited by the IRS, they understand what's going on. You know, and I just said, I've been audited before, and that's a scary, scary proposition when the federal government's in there, you know, just going, hey, we can do this, we can do that, we can take this, we can take that. You can't deduct this, you can't take that deduction, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it scares you. It is a scary thing, but a lot of people just don't know. They don't know what's happening. But I wanted to hang up and say, please come back to Shreveport.
We probably have a remote there in about 3 weeks. We're working on it now, so we'll probably be back really soon. Anyway, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. It was nice meeting you. All right.
You're true, a friend of the crown. Thank you.
Dilly, dilly. Dilly, dilly, Brandon. I mean, we got to say it. He said it. I got to say it. Black Lives Matter leader dies after shooting in New Orleans. You see, Brandon, he was working on the wrong thing. He was. They're working on the wrong thing and got shot in New Orleans. Wow. How ironic is that? Black Lives Matter activists gunned down in New Orleans. I think that's pretty ironic. Let's go to Deborah in West Monroe. By the way, I didn't wish it on him. Not at all. I hate to see anybody get shot like that. Anybody. All right, let's go, Deborah. How you doing?
How are you doing, Moon?
I'm doing great.
Just want to tell you, I'm real proud of the way this investigation is going. It's going from the end, and it has to move backwards to the beginning, and that makes it easier for the investigation to go onward. It's like they're setting up the dominoes, so when you're a kid, you push the first one down, and it knocks all the others down. And anyone who is a Democrat in this day and time ought to be shamed to their core, because the Democratic Party is not the Democratic Party my father for 34 years.
No, not even close.
And longer was.
Not even close.
And he would be just horrified if he saw what we're seeing today. But have heart. Let not your heart be troubled, because they're doing it the right way. You start with the latest crime, because this is a syndicate. This is a crime, Inc., and it's going to involve a lot of people to fill up Gitmo.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. Oh, man, this guy is all over the place. If he's not here, this guy works for a living. I don't know what he does,
That's
but I know.
Traveling man.
But I know he delivers king cakes. All right, Marcel, what's up?
Hey, Moon, how's it going this morning?
I'm doing great, man. It's not as sweet as it was yesterday, but it's a good day.
Oh, man, sorry to hear that, but I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. Called it before the last one. That man, they were glad to meet you up in Shreveport. And
yeah.
Said you were tall, good looking, and handsome. But, man, I got two things that I need to say. So, you don't look as good as you picture. But on the upside, you sound just like you sound the same in person as you do on the radio.
Hey, you couldn't understand me on the radio, and you couldn't understand me when you got here.
No, I understood. I understood you perfectly, and I was like, "Dang, man, he looks older than he does in his picture."
Well, yeah, we keep younger pictures out there. That's what that's all about, Marcel.
No, Moon, I'm just messing with you, buddy.
Marcel, if you're gonna mess with anybody, I'm the best one to mess with, because I don't take it personal. It's all in fun.
Yeah,
it's all in fun, man.
You like me, you dish it out as well as you take it. So.
Oh yeah. Well, normally I dish it out to myself, so I got to be able to take it.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing even more and more of these text messages, and
me and you both.
That fork-tongued president that we had before, his true colors are showing now.
Oh, no doubt. But they could pop Obama over and over again if people would just wake up. And by the way, next time you come, make it toward 11. That was great. That was a great brunch, but we're looking for shrimp and steak next time. Salad, baked potato. You know, do it right, Marcel.
Hey, you the one with the connections. But I mean, Brandon. Poor Brandon. God never gets fed. You talk about shucks and all this. Brandon hardly ever gets fed.
I brought Shucks, Brandon, a couple times to Shucks. They asked me not to bring him back. They never saw nobody eat that much. Got to go, Marcel. I appreciate it. God bless, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good job turning that around, man.
Always.